So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna do it's gonna be a part series on how to ride a motorcycle. Now, let me get this out of the way. If you watch this video and think, okay, I know how to ride a bike now, still take the course, please still take the course and get certified, get your endorsement and ride legally. That is how I am riding. I have my endorsement, I took the course, so do it legally. Alright, so let's get into it. The first episode, I guess we would say, we're just going to go over the basics of the bike, right? Now, every bike is going to be different, right? This here is a 2020 R6, so it is a 600cc sport bike. Not something, you'd want to begin in if you're just starting to ride. But it's what I have. It's my bike. It's what I'll teach you guys on. Show you guys on. So let's get into it. So the first thing, you want to know your bike's components. This is your clutch on the handlebars. The left side is your clutch. All right, that is going to be your friend. The right side, this lever is your front brake. All right, nice and squishy. Shouldn't feel spongy. If you feel spongy, your brakes need to be bled. This here is your throttle. Alright. The thing that twists is your throttle. The big old red switch here, this is your kill switch. So right now it is on do not start. So if I turn the bike on, alright, we flip the key on, throw it in neutral, and I try to start it, it will not start. We have to turn it on. Now if I try to start it, the bike will turn on. See? The bike is now on. And we'll flip it again to kill it. The little button underneath, there's usually like a lightning bolt and a circle, half circle, 3/4 of a circle with an arrow on it. That is your start button. That is how you start the bike. You press and hold it. Alright? So my bike has modes, different rider modes. Some bikes do, some don't. Obviously, we have our high beams here. High beam, low beam. The low beams will always stay on. Blinkers is a little flippy thing with the arrow icon. Then we have the horn. Alright. Some bikes have hazards. I unfortunately do not have hazards. Sad. Your mirrors will be this is awful. I should put my mirrors back on for this. Your mirrors will be here. There'll be two mirrors, nice mirrors, unless you're like me who has a handlebar mirror. Can't really see anything out of it unless I really try. It's also windy, so if there's a lot of wind being picked up, I do apologize. Alright, so let's move it on. So on the right side of your bike, you'll have your right peg. On your right peg, you'll have your foot brake. This is for your rear. Alright? You'll use this a lot, along with your front brake. Your front brake holds most of the stopping power, if I'm correct. Your rear brake kind of is there to help slow you down. But there's certain situations where you'd want to use your rear over your front. But the best way to stop is using both at the same time, which we will cover in a different episode. Alright, now onto the left side here, we have our shifter, our shift lever. Alright, it's nice and shifty. I don't know what I'm saying. So, the way shifting works, right, you have 5 gears, and typically on bikes it's 1 down and then the rest is up. So we'll go 1, neutral, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. My bike is GP shifting, so it's reversed. So for me, first is up, then it's neutral, then everything else is down. So 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how I started. My first bike had GP shifting. That is what I learned on and got comfortable with. And personally, I like it better than standard shifting. It's just more convenient for me, and it just works better for me. So, you know, it's all personal preference. So that's your components of your bike, the things you'll be using to learn, right? So whenever I teach friends or have taught friends on how to ride, the first thing I always tell them to do is feel the clutch, learn the clutch, because you don't want to burn out your clutch. You know, you don't want to abuse your clutch, essentially, because when you start abusing your clutch, that's when you cause wear and tear. You start burning it, and it's just your clutch starts slipping, and it's not the greatest. All right, I'll go over the clutches, you guys, and we will start from there. So essentially what this episode's going to cover, I don't, why am I saying this now, but we covered the components, all right, and now we're going to cover the clutch. I think we're just going to focus on the clutch for today, because it's important to learn. I'm talking, see, this is why I got to start doing videos more often. But we'll cover the clutch today, because I feel like that is very important to learn, and we'll just take step by step from there. So we'll let this car pass by, and then we'll get started. All right, so we're gonna go and turn the bike on. All right. Oh, I didn't cover the kickstand. That's the kickstand. Make sure that's always down, unless you're starting to ride. Then always kick it up. So we're gonna go ahead and turn the bike on. And I'm gonna close my visor for this, because I know the bike's gonna be loud. I'm just idling, and the wind is gonna pick shit up. So you guys will probably be able to hear me better now, or it's just gonna sound more muffled. But we'll find out in the video. If not, I'll be back out here recording again. So what we're gonna do here is, first step one, all right, we're gonna make sure we know our brake and our rear brake. All right. 2, we're not going to use any throttle today. 0 throttle, okay? I might have to use some, because I'm on a slope, it looks like, but we'll get around it. All right, so we're just going to have our hands here. We're not going to use the throttle at all. We're going to hover our fingers, or however many fingers you want to use on your brake, front brake. Same with the clutch. I personally, since I have gauntlet gloves that I normally ride with, I have my brake or my clutch lever adjusted to stick out a little further, so for more reach. So I'll use 3 fingers when I use these gloves. But what we're going to do is we are going to pull the clutch in and kick it into first. Alright, now the bike is in first gear. So if I were to release the clutch super quick, I will stall, which I will demonstrate. Alright, now keep in mind the bike will jerk if you do this. So steady yourself, okay? Otherwise you will tip over. So this is what happens when you let off the clutch super quick without giving any throttle. Okay? The bike will jerk forward and it will shut off. To restart it, we'll simply just pull the clutch back in and hold the start button, and the bike's on again. So now, being that we're in first gear, we are going to slowly let off the clutch. Alright, you're going to keep letting off slowly, and you see the bike starts rolling here. This is the bite point. What we do is pull it back in. Once you feel that bite point, let off. Okay, just pull the clutch back in and start again. So feel for the bite point, walk the bike, and you see the bike's gradually going on its own, faster and faster. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull the clutch back in, slowly apply the front brake, and come to a stop. And we're going to do that again. And each time you get it, you can always speed up, right? Because you start getting that, you start remembering where the bite point is. Like, so I'm going to do it again. And see, now we're rolling faster. Front brake slowly. We're going to do it again. Walk it, and we're going. And off, and stop. So, that is basically finding where the clutch is. So after you do that a few times, right, you'll be able to just start going. Right now, see, we did that super quick, no throttle at all, by the way. We didn't give it any throttle. Simply got on the clutch to where the bike point is. The bike started rolling, and we completely let off the clutch. Now we are going in first gear, no throttle. All right, I have not applied a single bit of throttle. So we're just gonna go ahead and make a U-turn. Again, just super casual. Alright. We're gonna come to a stop here. I'm gonna pull the clutch in. Rear brake is being applied along with the front brake at the same time. Gradual stop, but don't worry about that. Just use the front brakes for now. So we're going back in neutral. So that's basically clutch control right there. Just feel for the bite point, and when you feel it biting, you can let off. So we'll do it again here. Alright. Clutch in, first gear. We're gonna slowly let off. And we're rolling. Feet are both up now onto the foot pegs, and we are rolling, just gliding the bike. Alright? It gets simple, trust me. It's easy to ride a bike. It is easy to learn. Super easy. See, now we can just ride around, just rolling. Super nice. And to come to a stop, we're going to pull the clutch in, slowly apply the front brake, and out. And remember, when you're stopping, please put both of your feet out, otherwise you will tip over from losing balance. Okay, that covers, I think that's all we're going to cover today for this episode, is just clutch control, the components and clutch control. And then in the next episode, which I'm probably going to record soon, we're going to cover throttle, clutch and throttle at the same time. And then once we get that going, we'll I think in clutch and throttle we'll also include stopping and going, because I know that's something that's can bring a lot of, like, make you feel anxious, because especially if you're out on the track, you know, on the public road and everything, and you come to a red light, stop signs, you really feel pressured. Like, oh no, you know, you gotta be perfect. You gotta go. So, you know, when it turns green, no, you don't have to. You know, don't feel pressured. But we'll cover all that in the next episode. But if you stayed this long, and if you feel like you learned something, definitely leave a like. Comment what you want to know. If you have any questions, any kind of question you got, just let me know. Ask me. I will try my best to answer it. But yeah, and also one last thing before you click out of here. All right, before you click out, I am more active on Instagram. All right, I'll link it in the description, as well as it'll be up on the screen right now. Drop a follow there. All right, you can also message me directly there. I do respond more on Instagram. I like engaging with everyone, so definitely drop me a follow. And if you do, here, let's see who stays to the end. All right, if you watch till the end and you follow me on Instagram, send me a message saying you're from YouTube. Okay, I just want to see how many people actually go through with it. But yeah, I will see you guys all in the next one. Thank you for watching, and bye.